Hello everyone and welcome to Math 2412 for the summer session. My name's Terry Barnes and I'll be helping you on this journey. It's a pretty short one, 5 weeks, and a lot of material in pre-cal, but it is self-paced, and so hopefully you can be self-directed enough and motivated enough to do this and complete the course in time. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the buttons that are here in MathLab, what's housed there, and how to do the course. So the first thing you come to when you open up will be the course home. This is where announcements will be. If you have any trouble getting started, you may want to run this browser check. It'll make sure that you have all the components on your computer that you will need. If you're not having any problems, then you could ignore that. There will be my announcements here as well. If they're not showing, you can click View All Announcements. And I will put announcements pretty often. Anything that I need to share with you, I will also try to email to you. So having said that, it's really important that when you've set this up, you've put an email that you will check. So be sure that that's the case. If you're watching this video, you've already clicked the orientation button, and so you know what is there. Announcements, that's what we've talked about, so there's no reason for that. If you're at another point in the course and you've forgotten something on an announcement, you can click there and it will go right back to it. There is a video announcement that I would love for you to play. I'm not sure it's going to load here. I'll try to make sure that's going, but I would like you to do that at some point. The syllabus is here, and we're not going to read it together, but I would suggest that you click it. You are responsible for the information in there as far as what's available, what's required, what's not. We can look at a couple of things. So let's see if we can open and get that in the screen. So we go through here. Here is my information, name, email, office phone, and my office location. For office hours, I will be there teaching face-to-face, so 7:30 to 8 in the morning, Monday through Thursday, or about 12:15 to 12:45 in the afternoon. I will be there for sure, but if we needed to meet for an appointment, you just need to call or email and we could set that up, because I will be on campus part of the time. You do need a graphing calculator to be successful in this course. We go through here. We'll talk about that calendar in a minute. All right, homework. There is a homework for every section. And homework is 20% of your total average, so that's important. There are 6 tests plus a comprehensive final, and that's 60% of your average. And this is important. Before each test is available, all homework assignments must be completed with at least a 70. So if you have not done that, your test will not open. So that's important to remember. Now, you could get a 70 on all the homeworks, be able to take the test. You could always go back and try to raise those grades because the homework is open the entire course. Then there is a final exam that counts 20% of your final average, and we'll talk about the final exam a little bit more in depth when we're looking at the buttons. Academic integrity, you should look there. Attendance for this online course will be based on participation. You should have activity. That means you should work on homework or a test at least sometime in the course each week. I will run a report on Sunday to determine activity in the course, and any week in which no work is logged will count as an absence, and you're really only allowed one of those before you could be dropped. It's very easy to stay off of that list. Just open a homework, work on it, at least once during the week, and you should be fine. Now, if that's all you're doing, you're probably going to be in a bind come the end of the course, but that would suffice for attendance. The rest of that you could read at your leisure. Let's go back here. All right, the suggested calendar. All right, so this is the suggested calendar. It is totally just a suggestion. If you want to break it up the way I have done, that gives you something to go by. It's a lot to do each week, but there's only 5 weeks, so you may find that week 3 you've got something going on, so you want to work more in week 2 and week 4. However you want to do it is up to you. You have complete flexibility in this course. You have complete responsibility. So keep that in mind as you work through the course. But that is there if you want to print it and try to stay with it. All right. Now, the way that I have this set up, and I suggest you doing it, there are 3 things here. There are problem sets, lecture notes, and lecture videos. There's one for every section. So under problem sets, if you start at chapter 4, there are problems for each section. It's a blank set of problems for you to work through. So it's like having the book. All right, so I would do that. And then here are the lecture notes for chapter 4. Again, there's a section for every section. There is a list for every section. Let's look at 4.1 and just see what it looks like. So here's the notes that you would get if you were in class. Everything is there. And then we get to those blank problems, except they are worked or there's notations on them. And so that's really helpful for you working through them. There is also a lecture video for every section. So if we click on 4.1, and here is the video. I don't know if it'll play within my view.
Okay, so we're going to go down.
So you hear me talking, you see me scrolling and writing. You don't have to look at me, thank goodness for you. But there is that video for every section. Now, most of them are done from an in-class course, so you'll hear some interaction with the students. If there's anything that you can't get from the video, certainly check with me and let me know. Here is a reference handout list, and you can print any and all of these to use. Some of these are the ones that I use for college algebra, so if you are a little rusty on your algebra, those might be helpful. There are trig identities. You would definitely want those for chapter 6, 7, and 8. Unit circle, again for trig. These are for chapter 10, parabola, ellipse, and hyperbola. Those will be invaluable for you to have while you're doing your homework and referencing for your test. Regression, if there's some regression questions, that's a good handout for that. Any calculator questions there, and algebra formulas here. So you might want to print all that at the beginning and just have it. Homework button, this is where you'll do your homework. And if you'll note, all of the homeworks are listed here all the way through chapter 14, and the due date is here, July 2nd at 2 p.m. Every homework is due then. The course will close at 2 p.m. And so it's up to you. You can do all of this in 3 weeks. You can take the whole 5 weeks. Whatever works for you is okay. All right. So if we went into section 4.1, let's see if we can get that up. So for this one, there's only 6 questions. On some homework assignments, there's more. It just depends on what I assigned. So if we went into question 1, All right, now this one happens to be a multiple choice, and so that's pretty easy as far as going through that. Let's see if we can get one that's not multiple choice. And again, we have that one. Let's see. I have a few there. All right. Okay, so on this one, you are choosing, it happens to be about graphing. This one's not a great one for you to see things. Let's see. All right, so on this one, if you click inside the box, you get some tools down here, some symbols, and there are more. Yours may look different. This is Windows 8 on my Surface Pro, so it may look different on your computer, but if it does, somewhere you will have symbols and operators that you need. So if you need an exponent, you can click there. Any of those that you need, you can use. If you have an ordered pair, right here, square root, absolute value, that sort of thing. So I wanted you to see that, and those don't show up unless you click inside the box. If you need help on a question, and this may look different on yours as well, but there is help me solve this, view an example, a video. It won't be my video, but there is a video, textbook, the book area where that is, or ask my instructor. If you've tried everything, you've looked at my lecture notes, which should help you with any of these questions, but you still can't get it. If you click on Ask My Instructor, it comes up with a box that will send me an email, give me the section and the question that you're on, and here you can type in a question for me. It will send me that link so I can go into the gradebook and look at exactly what you're facing and try to figure out what's wrong, and I'll get back with you right away on that as quickly as possible. So that is certainly an option for you to get help. Okay, so you have 3 tries on every question before it will regenerate and give you a new question. In other words, there is no reason not to make 100 on every homework. If you don't do it at the first, you can certainly go back. That can make a big difference in your grade. But the homework is there for you to learn, to practice. I have no problem with you doing the questions over and over till you get 100. That's what I would hope that you do. Be sure that you save when you're finished. You don't have to complete an assignment at one point. You can always go back in, but you want to save it. All right, so let's get that. All right, quizzes and tests, same idea. All your tests are listed here, and you see some flags. The flags are prereqs, and that's telling you that you need to have 70 on all the homework sections before the test will open. So it won't open until that's done. You'll note over here that you have 2 hours on every test, and you have 2 tries. The higher of the grade will be the one that figures in your grade book. You have 1 try on the final exam. Excuse me. All the tests are due as well that July 2nd, 2 p.m. So as you're seeing, you get to set up your own schedule. You get to work as you want to. If you want to do a test at 3 in the morning, you do it at 3 in the morning. But it all has to be done by July 2nd. I'm going to be here for you, so when you have questions on any item, email me. I'm pretty available. I have a smartphone, tablet, computer, everything I need to stay in touch with you. But you know, I am teaching face-to-face for the mornings, and I do sleep sometimes. So I will try to get back with you as soon as possible for any questions that you have. Final exam info, that's the last thing we need to look at. There are 3 things under there. The first one is how to schedule an exam. The final exam has to be done on campus. That is not my idea. That is our department's idea. And so how to schedule is right here. That's a document that has the testing center's phone number. Talks about that you need to schedule it at least 2 days ahead of time, and tells you what you're allowed to bring, what you're not allowed to bring. I will have a packet of notes there available for you, so you won't bring any notes. I will have what's available. Things that you've been using will be there, and I will let you know for sure what's going to be there. The final exam review has specific homework questions that you should look over to prepare for your exam. And then there's one test example from 10-2 that didn't get on this list. So we'll talk more about that as we go on. It will be in the testing center. It will be on MathLab. You will still go in and take it online just like you've been doing the whole course. You will have a password that they have to get into the test. Every person will have a different password, so when you get yours, it'll work only for your exam. So that will all happen toward the end of the course. The final deadline is July 2nd, and you can't schedule a test, for noon on the 2nd with any guarantee that you'd be done by 2, with all the things that you have to do there. So be aware of that. Let's see. The only other thing, the chapter contents, if you needed the book, you could click on this, go to chapter that you were interested in, and come over here to the chapter opener. You can look at that. You can go into the book and look at the book. But I have put all of the things that I want you to do in the lecture notes. So I doubt that you're going to need that book at all. All right, I think that will do it. Be sure that you let me know of anything that you need help with, and I will be glad to do that. Good luck in the